Cash me outside. That's right, today we are outside, and we're not just from any location, we're from a special location, we're from an international location, we're from Singapore. How about that? Now, the reason I started that out with that little meme, as you know, is because the last podcast, which again I'd like to say thank you for the love, thank you for showing me the appreciation, and I just love it. I love you guys engaging with my stuff. It really means a lot to me, so thank you. But the reason I'm starting with that is because it just so happens, after I posted that vlog, I'm scrolling through LinkedIn and I see a job advertisement on a very highly respected social media agency for a meme manager. And part of the requirements were create dank memes. So I was just like, people, this is what I talk to you about. I talk about relevance, I talk about topical culture, I talk about things that are needed right now. And that being said, we're going to move on to today's vlog, which is about being comfortable and about being yourself in the professional environment. Now, growing up, you know, I was always told that you need to portray yourself in a certain kind of way when it comes to working within the professional environment. Basically, when you get to university, when you're in school, when you finish that, when you go work in industry, you need to portray yourself in a very kind of uniform kind of way. And as I look at that now and I look back and I see, especially within the industry that I work, which is the media industry, but probably elsewhere, and I look at how people portray themselves outside of work, and I ask the question, the way you feel comfortable outside of work, why can you not bring that into your working environment? Surely, if you feel comfortable in a specific situation, it's going to make you feel comfortable when you're working or whenever you're doing anything you want or anything that you do in general. And that relates, in my opinion, to the working environment as well. So, by my dad, who's a very intelligent man, I was always told, Nat, you go to work, you're with your other work colleagues, make sure that you suit up correctly, you carry yourself correctly. And of course, I believe in all of those kind of things, but at the same time, it's a different day and age. Again, it's different generational values. And for me, work is all about creativity. Even when you look at a platform like LinkedIn, it's a very uniform platform. Everybody, or most people that have LinkedIn profiles, try to portray themselves in a very specific way. Very corporate, very upright, very straight. And I beg to differ. I say, why? Let your creativity flare. Be comfortable with who you are. I'll tell you right now, me, when I go to work, there's a certain way I talk. There's a certain way I walk. There's a certain way I dress. It's all normality. It's the way I would talk to my friends. It's the way I'd walk with my friends. It's the way I'd dress with my friends. I don't try to be a different person at work because it's not comfortable. It's going to affect my working ability. Now, me, I'm speaking from an industry which probably is more lenient towards that background from the media industry because that's where I work, and you can probably get away with those kind of things more often. But I challenge the person that works in banking, that works in whatever, be yourself. When you look about 20, 30 years down the line, and even from the past as well, and you look at the way the working culture has changed, right? And who are working in these businesses now and who will be working in them in the future, it's us. It's the people that are creating these new kind of movements, these new pop culture movements that will, without a doubt, and I'm telling you, be reflected 30 years from now. If I want to wear earrings, if I want to have tattoos, that shouldn't reflect negatively on my employability or the way that I want to walk into work every day. I feel comfortable having that kind of aura about me, so I should feel comfortable working with that kind of an aura. So my podcast today is about why is that such? Why do people still have that enactment about them? On Instagram, on Facebook, look at how you portray yourself on these platforms, right? Then ask yourself the question, does that reflect who I am in my working environment? Remember, you're working 8 to 10 hours a day. It's a huge part of your life. Your working culture, it's a huge part of your life. It's part of you. So if you're somebody else with your friends and your mates, but yet you're somebody else in the working environment, what does that say about you? You're being two different kinds of people. And actually, you then look at your working environment and you say, am I getting the most out of this? Is this truly who I am? Is this truly what I want? Am I happy? Am I happy going somewhere where I essentially have to change my personality and who I am? If the answer to that question is universally a no, then maybe challenge it. Maybe you want to do something about that. Maybe you want to try and break the norm and see how people react to that. Because if you're truly good at what you do, then nobody's going to mind. If they mind, then you need to think about where you actually are and if it's the right place for you. For me, I recently took a look down my LinkedIn profile and I said to myself, Nat, you talk about being comfortable with yourself, you talk about doing what you want to do, being that kind of a person, but you look down your Instagram, your LinkedIn profile, and you have a very corporate photo. The way it's laid out is very corporate. It's what university told you to do, and you've gone and done that. So I changed it up. I have a new profile picture, I'm who I want to be. I've changed up the whole thing. I was like, this is me. This is what I want people to see from me. It's part of the reason why I'm doing these vlogs, right? I told myself, I'm like, you read a lot now. You read a lot. You're very opinionated on what you read, especially within the media industry. You have a lot of opinions, but nobody sees them. I started wanting people to see my opinions. I said, should I blog? Should I write down? I was like, no, who's gonna see me if I'm writing? Who's gonna understand my personality? Okay, you can get personality through writing. But I said, what's the other way? I said, start blogging. Start letting people see you. Start letting people hear the way you speak. Start letting people see your animation. Start letting people see your passion. That's what I did. Is that right now? Whatever, that is what I've done. And I wanted to bring that to the audience that I have and show them my thoughts and my opinions on things that is straight, raw, unedited, real life Nat Black Kevin speaking to you. And I feel comfortable doing it, So that's what this vlog is essentially about, I asked you guys to catch me outside from the very beginning, just put that kind of a spin on it, and that's how I want to interact and communicate with people. And I challenge people to do the same out there. Do the same, challenge who you work with, challenge your peers, challenge everybody else that you think this vlog may have an impact on, and get them to start living their life. Their working environment is a huge part of your life. So show this to them, get them to listen to what I'm saying, and if it affects them, then great, beautiful stuff, I love it. So that being said, again, thank you for listening. I'm Nat Black Kevin, and peace out to you. Take it easy.